Hi, and welcome to Differentiation Made Easy with Gradecam. I'm Becky Renneker. I'm a gifted coordinator and specialist for Milton Union Schools in West Milton, Ohio, and I'm very glad that you decided to join my session today. This is my 18th year in gifted education, and I work with students in grades 3 through 8 personally, and I support teachers with gifted students in grades K through 12. So, gifted education is a big passion of mine, and a big piece of that that comes with it is helping teachers learn to differentiate for their students. And differentiation isn't good just for gifted students, it's good for all students. We all have our different strengths and needs, and our job as educators is to help our students to grow, regardless of where they start. So, Gradecam is a program that I am excited to share with you today, and it's got some wonderful features that can help you with that process to differentiate for students. If you don't know what your students know and don't know, it makes it very difficult to differentiate appropriately. So Gradecam is a way of supporting the assessment that's needed to do a good job of differentiating for your students. So let me show you around, give you some information about the program. There is a free teacher version for mobile devices, and then they have different tiered levels of programs available as well at the district school level or for the teacher level. And as you can see on their website here, they do have a free trial for teachers. So I strongly encourage you to give that a check if this is something that you're interested in. Okay, so let's get started. I've used Gradecam in the past with some of the professional development that I've done in my schools, and I've used it with my students before as well. Let's take a look at some of the features. So if you go in, you'll see there's a features overview, and then it's got more for the district and hybrid learning, more about the mobile app. So there's so much information here, but we're going to start with the features overview just so you can kind of see what all is available through this. They have different types of questions that you can use in your assessments. That ranges from multiple choice, number grids, rubrics, handwritten numeric ones, open response, fill in the blank, all kinds of just great ways for students to respond. You can create your assessments in Gradecam, but the cool thing about it is you use your camera on your computer or on your mobile device to scan the forms, and it will score them for you. And it will use the data analysis features to show you where your students are on item-based assessment. You can do standards-based assessments and see where they're performing on each of the standards. You can use that information to group students. You can use that information to find out who needs more, especially if you use this as a quick and easy pretest. That's a great way to gather that information. Some other cool things about it is it does have the functionality to be uploaded into like your report card software as well. So just all kinds of great features here. So the nice thing I like about this as well is when a student scans their paper, it gives them instant feedback on what they did. They can see what they got correct, what they got incorrect. And you can see there where you can instantly transfer your grades into gradebooks. You can import rosters. Students can self-scan their work. So this could also be used with hybrid learning. And you'll see that there's all kinds of reporting available and different performance bands. You can connect it to your state and school district standards, national standards as well. And then you can also share assignments and assessments. So if you're doing common assessments with your grade level team, it gives you an opportunity to do that, and you can link those questions to standards. So very, very cool availability there. So to show you just some of the features in terms of plans, if you're using it as an individual teacher, there's the free version. You get 10 questions per assignment. You can access it mobile. You can scan it using any mobile device. You can use the standard question types. And then it gives you like the essential reports and sync rosters from Google Classroom or Canvas. Now, when you look down here at all of the list of features, you'll see that on On the free version, you can do true and false, multiple choice. There's rubric questions. You can even do a basic number grid, one per assignment. And then when you come down here, you can see the score graph, item analysis, summary, student and class overview. For slightly more, you can do up to 10 class rosters on the free version, and it syncs with your Google Classroom. For more, a little bit more, for $5 a year, you can have up to 50 questions per assignment, mobile access on your devices. You can do multi-page forms with 5 pages, questions, same types of questions, the free version, but this one you also can add in your own standard codes, so you can track standards that way. And then you'll see the different reporting options. You pick up the exam report, and you also pick up the Excel and CSV exports. Then you can report by standard, by class, by student, and you can have the same number of classes, up to 10 classes, and then you can have various version variations so that not every child is taking the same version of the test if that's a security thing that you're concerned about. You'll see when you move over to the more expensive paid versions, there's an individual teacher with the Gradecam gradient, $15 a month or $150 a year. Might be a good grant thing if that's something that you're interested in, or if your district has the funds available to pay for an individual teacher, or the school district level where you get $3 per student. So with this one, you can use the document camera on your computer. So or like your Elmo, you don't have to just use your mobile device. You have integration going on here with the desktop and mobile version for the school/district. You also pick up a whole bunch more types of questions, and you can add in your standards. You can transfer grades into your grade book with that version, with both of those. And if you're doing standards-based report cards, that can be done at the district level with. And then if you just look down the list here, you can see all of the different types of reports that are available and the overview pieces for the teacher and the school. So a bigger data picture from a little farther out. All right, so now that you see a lot of the different features that are available, I'm sure you'd like to take a look and see what these look like and the user interface. So what we'll do is I'm going to pop over into my account to show you what it looks like. Okay, so let's pop on over here into my account, and I'll show you around a little bit inside of Gradecam, and you can see some of the interface. So here I am in one of my classes. This is my ESPD class. These were all of teachers that I used with a PD piece, and you can see I've got my different classes. I can set, different class periods and how many assignments I have, and you can see the student number of scans, and then you can see the average score on those. So we're going to pop over here into my ESPD class so that you can see the list of students. You can add students in. There are different login codes. You can configure your list if you want to display your scores as percentages or performance bands. So let's take a look here at some of the reporting. So assignment overview, you see I don't have any new assignments. I haven't used this for ESPD recently, but I do have some archived ones. And if I go in here, you can see all the different reporting options. So I'm going to go into my assignments, to my archive, facts and myths. So this was a fact and myth multiple choice question assessment that I did with my teachers. And it was just on a bubble sheet where they filled in their multiple choices. And so you can see this gives me the distribution of scores. And when you click on it, you can see that the number of students for each one, but you can dig in a lot more deeply. So if you go into item analysis, for each question, I can see the individual responses for each question in terms of the number of students. So as a teacher, I can take a look and see how did they perform. What question was most often chosen as an incorrect answer. Then I can also, on the more recent items, you can actually check and see if your items are statistically valid. So then over here, you can pop over to the item summary. And so I can see by question how many got it right, how many got it wrong, and I can see the bar for each one. So that gives me a quick visual overview. And then here's what I was talking about with the statistical reliability. Here's your item reliability that it runs the statistics on and kind of gives you an idea about the questions that you ask. I can view this by students. So I can pop in and look at an individual student. And see each one has a different ID. And so when you go to print out an assignment, the assessment forms that they fill out are linked to that student. So when they fill it out, they complete it, it scans it, the data is linked. I can see the overview, I can see the exam report on the assignment, so what they got right, what they got wrong. If there were standards linked to this, which in this case they weren't, I would be able to see that overview as well. So let me show you how to go about creating a new assignment. So I'm going to come back over here to my classes, and I'm going to choose here, and then I'm going to look in at my login code. So if I wanted to see my student login codes, I can give them a specific login that they can log in online to Gradecam, and they can view their results as well. And then, if I wanted to add a student, that's where I would go, is add new, and I can create a new student, or I can import a student. Here I am in assignments. I'm going to add a new assignment. And now you see I can do different types. So I've got multiple choice questions, or I could do an observational assessment. So if they had a performance or a skill-based assessment, or a project, research paper, etc., or like a credit for a homework completion, etc. So I'm just going to do a basic multiple choice assessment, and we're going to call this demonstration demo test. Okay. And you can see I'm going to set the number of questions. I can choose to have more than 10. I can have up to 1,000. For this case, I'm just going to stick with 10. So then what I do is I'm basically creating an answer document. And if you see over here, this window that's got my picture going on, when I use my camera to scan them, it will scan here the different version, and then I can see what the answers are and get that instant feedback. So if my question, let's say my answer or the correct answer is B on that one, so I'm setting up my key depending on the questions that I'm asking. Here's all my correct answers. All right. So then you'll see I can assign the number of points, and if I need to add a standard to it, I can do that here as well. Let me move my window over here. So I can add those standards and align them in, adjust the points. I can also change the type of question on the test. So if I didn't want to just give a multiple choice question, I can go in and select what it is that I'm giving. On the teacher graded items, now this is really cool. So if you have an open response where the students maybe had to draw a picture or or do a writing thing, and you scan all the assignments, even though you have to grade them, the program will sort them by that item number. So, for example, if I'm grading a diagram, like maybe 2 or 3 of my questions had diagrams on them, what it would do is it would take diagram 1 and it would just pull up everybody's diagram 1. So I only am scoring that same diagram multiple times in a row, rather than having to go flipping through multiple pages of work. So yeah, that's how you can change their item types. You can change the number of answers. You can add an additional answer if you want. So then when you save it, all right, I'm close that out. All right, so there's my key and my assignment. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create forms, right? So when I go to do my forms, I can print. This is what would print out, and I'm not going to do that here. But what you do is you can either create like one form for the assignment, and then your student puts in their ID, and that would be like a generic one. Or if it's linked to my class, it will print out an answer sheet with each student's name and ID code already on it. And so it's already pre-filled out. All they have to do is put the answers on it and scan it. And you could choose to have it for any student, and then they just bubble in the ID. You can set it up so that it prints a form only for this assignment or for any assignment that has a compatible key. And then when I go to generate my forms here, you see there's page 1, there's page 2. So when I go to generate my forms, it will go into a PDF here. And you can see I have a different form set up for each teacher to fill in their answers and complete. So when those are all filled out, as the students complete the assignment, what they'll do is they'll hold it up to the camera, or I'll scan it with my phone, and it'll recognize that document and that student's information, and it will go into your scans, and then you'll be able to see what was scanned, and then it scores it, and you can print out reports immediately. As I said earlier, the really cool thing about this is that your students will have the ability to see what they got correct and what they got incorrect on their assignments. So if I go in here to scans, I can see how they did. That was their scanned, and then I can see the reports on how they performed. So that, in a nutshell, is Gradecam. So I'm sure you have lots of questions, and I'm happy to answer them for you. And I hope that this has been a valuable and useful tool for you to take a look at. Like I said, there's lots of different features that are available and different levels of usability. Definitely check out the teacher free trial. It's worth a shot to see how you can integrate it in your classroom, but you can definitely use these pieces to help you decide which students are in need of what data, and it saves so much time. So again, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the question and answer.